is over 7%. That's what's trending from the Black Information Network. Sports on the Black Information Network.
In tennis, Christopher Eubank's Wimbledon run has come to an end. The 27-year-old Black American lost to Russian Daniil Medvedev. This was Eubank's first appearance in a major quarterfinal and in the main draw at Wimbledon. The Southside Atlanta native entered a 9-match win streak. Meanwhile, in college football, a Wisconsin linebacker is making his way back to Madison. Jordan Turner has been reinstated following a suspension for violating the school's discipline policy. Turner was sidelined late last month after he admitted to operating a vehicle while intoxicated. He was also cited for additional traffic violations. Turner had 68 tackles for the Badgers last season, which ranked second on the team. He also earned defensive MVP honors following the team's 24-17 win over Oklahoma State in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. And in hockey, the Rangers are bringing back a member of their blue line. New York agreed to a 2-year extension with defensive mid Andre Miller. The 23-year-old is slated to make $3.872 million per season. The Blue Shirts selected Miller with the 22nd overall pick in the 2018 NHL entry draft. Miller finished last season with 9 goals and 43 points over 79 games and had 21 goals and 75 points in 214 career games. Sports at 14 and 44 minutes past each hour. I'm Morgan Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
I'm Cali Code with another essential black film. Released in 2002 to critical acclaim, Drumline follows the story of a young black drummer from Harlem, New York, who heads to college to join a HBCU marching band in Atlanta, Georgia.
I just thought I had a little something on the end.
Although fictional in account, the film offers viewers a revealing look into the culture and traditions of historically black colleges, along with some of the unique challenges black students face while seeking higher education.
You have to learn to follow before you can lead, Mr. Miles.
Starring Nick Cannon as drummer Devin Miles, Orlando Jones as band leader Dr. Lee, and actress Zoe Saldana as Devin's love interest, Drumline earned more than $56 million at the U.S. box office alone. The film also received rave reviews for its honest portrayal of HBCU life and was one of the first to bring the pageantry of black marching bands to the big screen. 2002's Drumline, another essential black film. I'm Cali Code on the Black Information Network.
Got a story or just want to leave us some feedback? Call the Black Information Network hotline at 855-500-9BIN. Entertainment news on the Black Information Network. This year's Primetime Emmy Award nominations are in, and HBO's Succession leads the way with an impressive 27 nominations. The Emmys unveiled the nominees for the 75th edition of the award ceremony as the writer's strike continues and the possible actress strike looms. Apple TV Plus series Ted Lasso dominates the comedy field with 21 nominations. Quinta Brunson is nominated for the second year in a row for her role in Abbott Elementary. Actress Janelle James and Emmy-winning actress Sheryl Lee Ralph were also nominated in the Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series category for Abbott Elementary as well. The show was also nominated for Best Comedy Series, and breakout actress Dominique Fishback is nominated for Best Actress in a Limited Series for the Amazon Prime show Swarm. The CEO of the Television Academy, Frank Sherman, announced the 2023 nominees along with TV star Yvette Nicole Brown, who is currently starring on the sitcom Ask Your Age, along with Kim Whitley and Keisha Campbell on the Bounce Network. The ceremony is currently scheduled to be held September 18th in Los Angeles, California. Congratulations to all the nominees. Meanwhile, musician Sheila E. made history when she received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She is the first female solo percussionist to have a Hollywood star. Fellow percussionist Ringo Starr from the Beatles and R&B singer Her are among those who spoke at the ceremony. Songwriter and producer Jimmy Jam Harris emceed the event. Sheila E. Starr will be in front of the Musicians Institute on Hollywood Boulevard. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Does race really exist, or did we create it? Listen to the thought-provoking episode of Spit, iHeartRadio's podcast with 23andMe, where they explore how understanding your DNA changes how we think about ourselves and the world. Host Baratunde Thurston sits down with Wyclef Jean and Professor Alvin Tillery to discuss how people view the connections between genetics and race.
When I integrated my bus stop in New Jersey in 1980, some high school kids decided that they were going to hang me in a tree and kill me at 9 years old. And thank God the bus driver was on time and cut me down. And I made it, and that's why I do this work every day.
So my dad always told me, don't forget you are a descendant of 1804, Toussaint Louverture. So this was like how I was brought up, with a very fearless attitude.
Listen to the full episode of Spit with 23andMe in the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The power of information.
Black news here and now.
I'm Doug Davis.
And I'm Amber Payton, in for Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Now stories, white Republicans are on a march to eliminate college scholarships. The number of homicides in Memphis, Tennessee dropped last year, the latest city to say they've seen a reduction in black-on-black crime. And black pastors in the Columbia, Tennessee area will be praying for unity when they meet to discuss the KKK flyers left at several black churches in Maury County. Many blacks across the country are concerned about the increase in hate crimes.
Hate crimes are on the rise again in America. At least that's what the FBI statistics are showing. And as always, African Americans are the primary victims of reports of hate crimes.
That's Robert Patillo speaking on Roland Martin's Unfiltered podcast. The flyers were left recently and warned that race traders and other godless people better make amends or stay away. The pastors plan to meet soon.
Black Joint Chief of Staff nominee General Charles Q. Brown recently appeared before the Senate Armed Services Committee. Brown, who currently serves as Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, was nominated by President Biden to succeed current Joint Chief of Staff General Mark Milley, whose term will end in September.
I commit to provide the President and the Secretary of Defense my military advice, informed by the Joint Chiefs and our military leaders.
It is confirmed that Brown will only be the second black man to hold the position of Joint Chief of Staff after Colin Powell.
The Supreme Court's decision to order Alabama to come up with two majority black districts was historic. But in contrast, over 50 years ago, the nation's highest court ruled against a black activist who sued the former Confederate capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, for annexing a white area to become a part of the city. At the time, Richmond was mostly black and poor. Activists felt the move diluted the voting power of black residents. But after the decision, wards were created and blacks began to be elected to city council, and Richmond eventually elected its first black mayor.
As California lawmakers weigh in on if and when it will pay reparations to eligible black residents, a push by white Americans to do away with reparations is taking shape. Polls from reputable research firms show that white Americans simply feel blacks don't deserve it. After 2 years of research, Sheila Moore, chairwoman of the California Reparations Task Force, explains exclusively to the Black Information Network why we do.
We identify self-harm, the evaluation of black businesses, housing discrimination, mass incarceration over policing, and other harm. And we pretty much made the argument that there's state culpability for these harms, thus there needs to be compensation from the state valued at over $800 billion.
California lawmakers will have a few months to decide how to proceed with its reparations effort.
In a related story, the Chicago suburb of Evanston is paying reparations to black residents, which could be a test run for the rest of the country. Evanston has already paid black citizens from a $10 million package approved in 2019 and will pay out even more at the end of the year. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news affecting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network of the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Doug Davis along with Amber Payton sitting in for Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Your news at the sound of your voice. Tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network station on iHeartRadio.
Your smart device to play the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app. Because trust matters.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area, BIN 910.
Your money on the Black Information Network.
A Chicago suburb is paying reparations to black residents, which could be a test run for the rest of the country. Evanston has already paid 16 citizens with a $10 million package approved in 2019. According to the Evanston Roundtable, the committee expects to have paid $25
by the end of the year to 140 qualifying residents. Head of the Thurgood Marshall Civil Rights Center at Howard University, Justin Hanford, told the newspaper he sees it as an experiment for the rest of the U.S. And the Mega Millions jackpot has now passed the $500 million mark after Tuesday night's drawing. 3 people won $1 million each for matching 5 of the 6 numbers, but there was no grand prize winner. So the jackpot for Friday's drawing will be worth an estimated, get this, $560 million. The Powerball jackpot, meanwhile, set a whopping $725 million. The chances of winning the Powerball jackpot is 192 million to 1. But someone always wins. And why not you? Money news at 24 and 54 past each hour. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, The Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Because truth matters.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Amber Payton in for Esther Dillard.
And I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Here's a fact. Child care costs are expensive. It can average about $18,000 per year. That's about 42% of the median income for the typical black family. Well, I had the chance to talk with the assistant to President Biden and the director of the White House Gender Policy Control, Jennifer Klein, about a proposal submitted that would cap child care costs at 7% of a family's income and assist child care providers. As far as when families can expect to feel some relief,
it would take a bit of time, but 45 days is a very short time frame, and then HHS will work very quickly to incorporate all the comments and get these changes out the door.
If approved, child care costs will be capped at about $10 per day for the typical family.
That's not all President Biden is doing to help the black community.
We've seen a reduction in the child poverty rate for black children. It's been reduced by 12%, impacting over 200,000 children through the 50 plan.
That's Joel Gable, White House economist, on a recent press call detailing more ways the president's policies are helping blacks. 20% odds are what this 17-year-old was given to survive sickle cell disease. Hanif Mowila, who was black, beat those odds after being diagnosed at the age of 8 and receiving a stem cell transplant from his mother. Now, inspired by his own experience, he's headed to Harvard to study medicine.
If being an entrepreneur at 13 isn't impressive enough, Lena Ford is also giving back to black foster children and their hair needs. Ford, who is black, has announced a new initiative, Embrace Their Roots campaign, to bridge the gap between black hair products and black foster and homeless children by raising awareness, educating, and providing resources for proper hair care. For more news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com.
On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and catch us on Twitter at BlackInfoNet.
I'm Amber Payton, along with Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now here's Morgan Wood with the Healthy Minute.
Black and Latino people are less likely to receive CPR from a bystander. That's according to a 2022 American Heart Association study that found Black and Latino people were 41% less likely to receive CPR if they were having a cardiovascular episode. Even more alarming, the discovery remains the same at home, that white people are more likely to receive CPR. Health officials say almost every person with hands can save a life. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reports black Americans are 30% more likely to have a fatal heart episode compared to white people. Rush University Medical Center Dr. Nicholas Cozy spoke to WTTW, saying the pandemic could be to blame because restrictions made people more hesitant to engage. Health officials are encouraging everyone to learn CPR and first aid. That's your Healthy Minute. I'm Morgan Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Trusted Black News.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Bill Black with another set you didn't know music fact. We all know this song. That's Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, recorded in 1970. It's a song about war, racism, and things African Americans were going through at that time. Now, on background vocals of this song, with a legacy of soul. I'm Bill Black, and that's another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
9:10 a.m. KKSF, Oakland, the Black Information Network.
Tell your smart device to play Bay Area's BIN 910 on iHeartRadio.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is visiting Finland after wrapping up a key meeting. Biden will hold a bilateral meeting with the presidents of Finland and Helsinki on Thursday. Finland officially became the 31st member of NATO in April, marking a major shift in the security landscape in northeastern Europe. Buffalo Bills safety DeMar Hamlin will soon be returning to Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing training that aims to save sports players' lives. Back in January, Hamlin collapsed during a Monday Night Football game against the Bengals after he suffered a cardiac event. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $750 million. Nobody has won the Powerball's top prize in nearly 3 months. The jackpot has a cash option of $378.8 million. Meanwhile, the Mega Millions jackpot is up to $560 million after there wasn't a winner in last night's drawing. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
I'm Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A white woman accused of fatally shooting her black neighbor through the front door of her home has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter.
Her 9-year-old son is feeling guilty, feeling like it's his fault. He wish he would have said nothing about the iPad. Because then that means his mother would still be alive.
Attorney Ben Crump discussing the impact the tragedy is having on the victim's family. 58-year-old Susan Lawrence was charged in Marion County, Florida, after shooting 35-year-old Ashika Owens, who was attempting to confront her for allegedly hurling racial slurs and throwing skates at her children and taking their iPads. Authorities say the two women had been embroiled in a lengthy dispute over Owens' children playing near Lawrence's property.
New Rochelle, New York residents declared Black Lives Don't Matter during a city council meeting following the death of a 37-year-old man over the July 4th holiday. Jarrell Garris had been hospitalized for a week following an encounter with police who accused him of stealing fruit from a local grocery store. His relatives wore black shirts to the meeting, adorned with a picture of Garris in the front, captioned on the back, "Justice for Jarrell," #WeMustSeeToIt. New York Attorney General Letitia James is launching an investigation into the shooting.
Federal charges against a former police officer in Warren, Michigan, accused of slamming a man to the floor during processing at police headquarters. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 48-year-old Matthew Rodriguez is charged with deprivation of rights in the brutal attack on 19-year-old Jaquan Smith last month. Video footage of the incident sparked criticism in the Detroit suburb, and Rodriguez was fired weeks later, followed by a lawsuit filed by Smith. Rodriguez originally faced misdemeanor charges out of Macomb County, but the local prosecutor dismissed the charges so a federal prosecution could move forward.
Black men are at a higher risk of death or dying from melanoma than other racial groups. A study in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found of more than 200,000 cases of male patients diagnosed with cutaneous invasive melanoma from 2004 to 2018. Was the lowest for black
Stupid
men,
motorcycle.
around 51.5%. The rate of survival was highest among white men at just over 75%. Cutaneous melanoma originates in pigment-producing cells and is the most aggressive and fatal form of skin cancer.
Black women are at a much higher risk of maternal mortality than their peers. The United Nations says the disparity is most significant in the United States. Of 35 countries in the Americas, only 4 published maternal mortality data by race, which examine the maternal health of women and girls of African descent in Brazil, Colombia, Suriname, and the United States. The United States had the lowest overall maternal mortality rate among those 4 nations. The report said black women and girls, though, were 3 times more likely than their peers to die during childbirth or shortly thereafter. And the love for a young black tennis player continuing to grow at Wimbledon. Details coming up next in sports. I'm Terry McCready, along with Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
This is your finances on the BIN Network. You have dreams for your kids, and it's normal to be concerned about your child's future. College is expensive. How does anyone afford it? The best way to approach this daunting task is to save early and often. According to Ebony.com, 56% of black parents are pursuing additional sources of income via side jobs to save for their children's secondary education. Think of saving for college like another monthly bill. Put that monthly payment into a savings account in your name. Putting the account in your child's name could hurt their chances of financial aid down the line. 43% of parents expect that grants will contribute to their child's higher education, and 40% think their child will receive some sort of scholarship. So grants and scholarships are not guaranteed. If saving for a 4-year college seems out of reach, consider sending your child to a low-cost community college for the first 2 years while they continue to live at home. During that time, encourage your child to get a part-time job to help save for their final 2 years at a 4-year college. This is Dawn Day on the Black Information Network.
America's trusted black voice. The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910. African-American San Francisco Mayor London Breed is one of the highest-paid mayors among leaders in all California cities, according to numbers released last year. Her salary exceeding the compensation of mayors in cities with much larger populations, including Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Jose. According to newly released data from the California State Comptroller's Office, Breed's wages for 2022 were $357,000. Her retirement and health benefits of $87,000. Her annual compensation jumped to $444,000. And the Oakland Finance Committee is voting on a salary increase of $75,000 for Mayor Xing Tao. Councilmember Noel Gallo says he'll vote no.
I will not be supporting that action, considering the fact that the financial condition that the city of Oakland is in today.
The San Francisco Chronicle reports, although Breed may have an unusually high salary relative to her peers, her compensation is still a fraction of what top managers at private companies would make, according to Stephen Falk, a former interim city administrator of Oakland and a longtime city official who has served in 6 California cities. And San Francisco Mayor London Breed and City Attorney David Chai pushed back last week against claims by homeless advocates in an ongoing lawsuit over the city's response to encampments, including accusing some unhoused people of refusing shelter offers. Lawyers for the advocacy group, the Council on Homelessness, and individual plaintiffs, they filed a lawsuit in September accusing the city of violating legal precedent and constitutional rights by making people move off the streets without having enough shelter to offer them. In December, a judge granted a preliminary injunction that temporarily banned San Francisco police from clearing most housing encampments, citing people for sleeping in public, and enforcing several other laws aimed at homeless people while the lawsuit is continuing. The lawsuit has put Breed and city officials in a difficult position, as some residents and businesses are pressuring her to clean up the encampments. Advocates behind the lawsuit want San Francisco to move resources from encampment sweeps to affordable housing and other initiatives to reduce homelessness. And the San Francisco Committee has released its final set of recommendations to provide reparations to the city's black community, including potentially $5 million in payments meant to rectify some of the harm caused by generations of systemic racism. But it is far from clear whether those possible payments or any of the other recommendations from that committee will become reality in the near future. Board of Supervisors Shaman Walton pressed the issue at a recent meeting.
Speaking of investment, any plans to support the $50 million supplemental I introduced to fund the Office of Reparations, the staffing, the committee's approved recommendations, a database to locate eligible participants?
I have no plans at this time to support that request. Thank you.
That's some of the news happening around the Bay Area. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910.
From police brutality to COVID-19 to voter suppression, the NAACP is working to disrupt inequality, dismantle racism, and accelerate change in our communities. Find out how you can get involved at NAACP.org.
Trusted News 24/7.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. This hour of news is brought to you by Bank of America, proud founding partner of the Black Information